everybody. I hope everyone's had a beautiful weekend. Not everybody has the same weekend as we have here in the United States, because we have this is Memorial Weekend for us. Over the years, it's been called Decoration Day, Remembrance Day, but mostly it's been called Memorial Day. And the purpose is to celebrate or remember those who died fighting to keep us free and help us be free. So I am going to paint, I'm going to attempt to paint something patriotic. But it's not going to be what you're probably expecting, so out of me anyway. So let's give this a shot and see what comes out. I wash my brushes, but for some reason they still tend to get stiff, at least some of them do. I'm just kind of painting a blue background on here. Okay. Like me, a lot of you probably didn't really care for the history class in school or in high school, but we learn a lot of history from watching history TV, and now we can look whatever we want to know up on the computer for the most part, or go to the library and they are still there, and look things up. Today is about remembering those who died and fought and died in wars that kept us safe, that made us safe and then kept us safe. The Revolutionary War was hard fought, and a lot died. Now most of them, I mean, you see pictures of General George Washington and he's all decked out. Well, you know, he originally was a British soldier. And he had a lot of experience, so he was named a general. Now I don't know if the uniform he wears in the picture is exactly right. It probably is pretty close, because I think they did do a portrait of him. So back then. Anyway, let's move on. I am slipping over my own tongue. So I'm going to try and put some brown in with this later. I would have rather done a real camo like they have today, but I'm just not that good. So the camo is going to be a kind of a cross between the sandy desert and the green forest. So yeah, I move my hands when I talk, and I don't know what I'm saying there, because I am doing this I am speaking over. I am dubbing in. And I think I just lost the look of my shirt sleeve. That's okay. That's okay. South Korea is free today and has been free ever since. And they did a lot of their own fighting with us. So I'm not going to say that anyway, that's even ridiculous to even say it. But our early firearms, I guess you could say, were gunpowder and muskets, what they were called. And that end of the rifle, I just really goofed it up, and I thought, Okay, this part will be the bayonet. So we'll put a bayonet on there. I doubt that they had them during the early wars, but we're going to put one on there. There's been a lot of wars since, but the firearms don't look anything like that anymore. So there's that. And during earlier wars, well, I think even today, in ceremonial, they carry swords, and that's what I'm going to be painting across this next. But the history of our country, the history of our fighting men and women, they used to say this man's army. Well, yeah, as far as fighting, at one time it was, but now the women are out there too. The women have always pretty much been out there. During the Civil War, they tried to keep the home front. A lot of them were out there trying to take care of those who were wounded and sick and help in that way. It's never just one or the other. It and today women they are pilots, mechanics, all kinds of stuff. During World War II, they were making bullets and all kinds of stuff to send over for the fighting men. So it just I always hate to I never like to only speak of men, even when the weapons were only in the hands of men. Women were still very much in the fight, maybe not directly, but well, during the Civil War, the war between the states or the Civil War, well, women did need to be prepared to defend themselves because they could be raided in their homes. But and then there's been, like I said, Korea, Vietnam. I can't name them all, or I'm not going to try to name them all. Most recently, it was the war on terrorism, and that's been probably one of the hardest of all of them. I don't know myself personally, but just from listening to people talk, because you don't know the boundaries. Terrorists don't know boundaries. They don't hold to them. What I'm trying to represent here, I think I've sufficiently told you, is the fighting. The fighting people, and I'm not leaving out the Air Force. I'm not leaving out the Marines or the Navy, Coast Guard. It's just I don't know all the uniforms, and I don't know. This seems to be one that people picture more, I guess, or I do. Maybe it's just I picture it more. But if I used big enough canvas, I might have painted a airplane and a ship somewhere. But there's blue. There's the blue in the background. So that silver it's got a metallic. It's a metallic paint, and so it's a little hard to work with. But well, that's what swords were, I think. They were pretty much, well, they weren't made out of silver. They were made out of probably iron and stuff. And here I'm trying to paint this helmet, and I don't want to make it look like a stocking cap. That's the last thing I want to do. So I'm trying to square that off on the bottom. I hope I have some success. But yeah, it's nobody wants war, and it's I mean any fighting man or woman or person out there fighting for freedom. What they want is for the war to end, and for there not to be any more fighting. But man isn't that way. Man is greedy, tends to be greedy, or wants to take what isn't theirs from somebody else. And so wars are fought for many reasons. And a lot of times it's fought over land, over, like I think I've always said, and I think I've heard a lot of the time that the thing with Afghanistan is not that it has a lot to offer as far as um, like oil and that, like Iran and Iraq, but what it does have to offer um, is placement. Is where it is. It's in a place that's strategic. That's what I'm trying to say. It's strategic, and so this is it. This is what I've made, pretty much. And like I said, it's not. It's probably 10,000 of them out there, much better than anything I've done here. But this is what I've done, and that's the thing. This is what I do, and what I do is mine. You know, it's my thing. So that's it. I'm running out of battery. Lucky to still have a little. Well, I hope you like this. It's probably, you could find 1,000 of them better painted, but this is mine. That's what I always say. This is mine. This is how I did mine. Or at least that's what I've been saying. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your holiday. And just remember, good night.